HIMS just reported earnings. They're up almost 7% in after hours now. Palantir reported earnings, and they haven't moved at all. They're basically break even, and we have huge Oscar news to get into today. What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through HIMS and HERS. They just reported earnings. I'm going to be walking you through what some of the highlights that I'm seeing. I'm going to walk you through some of the key points of HIMS and HERS. I'm going to talk to you about something with Palantir that could be the starting of, a top in Palantir, and something to definitely watch, keep an eye on, and something that could inevitably bring Palantir back to, a reasonable valuation. I love Palantir. I think it's a great company. They're doing great things. It's just a valuation. We all know it's overvalued. And then finally, stay tuned to the end of the video. I have some big ACA subsidy news for Oscar Health, which they also report earnings this week. So buckle up, guys. Like, this is going to be a crazy video. Okay. So let's just jump right into it. We can see over here that we have HIMS and HERS. They reported earnings. They actually missed on EPS. They came in at 6 cents of EPS, and they were expected 9 to 10 cents of EPS, but they actually beat on revenue, nearly 600 million, and did 49% year over year growth, which is massive, friends. Because if we look over here on revenue, what did we have last or 2 quarters ago? Q1 2025, we had 586 million in revenue. Then last quarter, we had a drop off down to $544.83 million. And everybody was sitting there saying, oh man, I can't believe we had a drop off here of revenue when it's been up and up and up and up and up. Every single quarter, they've been going higher, 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 higher. Well, guess what? They had one bad quarter of revenue where it came down a smidge, but guess what? They actually just eclipsed Q1 2025's revenue of 586. They did almost 600 million. So you're going to have to put this bar somewhere up here now. So you had one little blip down, and then you're right back up to quarter over quarter, quarter over quarter, quarter over quarter revenue growth. So they reaccelerated this quarter, which is massive. Great job, Dudham and team. Great job, HIMS and team. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Their subscriptions grew from 2,366, 2,439 to now 2,500 subscribers, continuing that quarter over quarter over quarter climb in subscribers. See right there, 2.5 million. Sorry, I said 2,000. It's 2.5 million, not thousand. Sorry, that was in these are in millions. My bad. So 2.5 million in subscribers, up 21% year over year in Q3. Here was the net income. Net income of nearly 16 million, adjusted EBITDA of over 78 million in Q3. That obviously missed. And then another thing that I'm not loving is they narrowed their full year 2025 guidance to 2.335 billion to 2.355 billion. So, a couple hundred million, around that. Adjusted EBITDA guidance to 307 million to 317 million. So again, I don't love that. But let's hear what Andrew Dudham has to say. He said, this quarter, we continue to prove that our vision of helping tens of millions around the world access best-in-class personalized care from comfort of their own home is more real than ever. We're building a platform and that gets personal, more proactive, and resonates with more people as we scale. We're launching new specialties at increasing pace. We're partnering with leaders across healthcare to bring new solutions and services to users. They should partner with Oscar for sure. And we're making significant progress in establishing HIMS and HERS as a truly global brand. I believe they'll be able to do that. The number of people we can help is accelerating rapidly, and we've never been more confident in our ability to lead the transformation and how the world accesses care. Don't care about any of that. Here's the brass tacks. And I'm going to rate this right in front of you guys, okay? We're going to see a live rating of earnings. So, revenue, 599 million, 49% year over year. That is an A plus. A plus. They said to the doubters, they said, okay, yeah, we had one hiccup quarter. quarter over quarter, we decelerated in growth, but guess what? And that's something I want to talk to you about Palantir later. Just hang in there during the video. Hang in there. Put me on 2x speed if you got to. Whatever you got to do, but hang in there because what I'm about to drop some bombs about Palantir. Okay, about to drop some craziness about Palantir. But anyways, A plus. They decelerated, then they reaccelerated back to above Q1 2025 revenue. So now they are at all-time high quarterly revenue, a new all-time record for quarterly revenue. Amazing. That's A plus. Net income negative 79% year over year. That's not good. That's not good. I don't love it. But there's a growth story. This isn't an EPS story. This is still a growth story, growing 20, 30. You see 49% year over year. Like it's still a growth story, guys. So I'm able to stomach this a little bit more. Okay, more positives. EBITDA 53% year over year. That's an A. Good job. Operating cash flow 149 last quarter or the previous quarter Q3 2024 was 85 million. That's a 74% year over year increase. That is an A plus. Free cash flow of 79 million. You know what? That is the same exact free cash flow as last year. So that's actually going to get a C. It's going to get a C. They get a C because C's in the middle between A and F. So they're getting a C because it didn't grow at all. I want my free cash flow to be growing. Then we have another A plus, 21% year over year revenue, or sorry, growth in subscribers. That's great. And then monthly online revenue per average user from 67 to 80, 19% growth. Come on. Come on. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we have an A plus, an F, A plus C, A plus A. What do I give this overall earnings? You ready? B. I'll give it a B. It's not getting a B plus. It's not getting an A. It's not getting a C. It's getting a B. Why is it getting a B, Ronnie? It's getting a B because simply this company is a growth company. And what most people care about is that top line revenue growth. They reaccelerated. They shut up the haters. This stock has been beaten down ever since their last quarterly report because they had quarter over quarter decelerating revenue growth. They've been beaten down, not because of anything else, but their revenue growth. Now they reaccelerated it, still having more money come in per subscriber, grew their subscribers, right? Kept their free cash flow the same, lost on net income. I'm okay with that. It's not an A, it's not an A plus, not B plus, it's definitely not a C plus, definitely not a C. It's a B. B grade for their earnings. Okay. So, besides that, guys, nothing really big. We already know that they launched their menopause. We already know they're continuing to innovate. We already know their app is continuing to crush it. It's seamless, it's simple, it's modern. They jive well with the younger generations. There's nothing else really to talk about that, guys. I really just care about the numbers at this point and seeing their growth. Like I said, I don't love the guidance. That's another thing why it's getting a B, guys, because the guidance simply was like lower guidance. So the guidance lower definitely gets a D on the guidance. That gets a D. So that's also, again, why you're getting a B, right? I'm not going to give it a C because this is what I really cared about right there. That's what I really cared about. So, okay. What do we got next? What do we got next? We can look at anything else in here really that we really care about. No, not really. So, where does this leave HIMS and hers based on my valuation? Well, my valuation, I have a DCF intrinsic value. If we look here at my high five snapshot, I create these for any companies that I am covering. These are all in my Discord down here. You can join my free Discord in the link below. While you're down there, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, do your boy a favor, do all of those things. Follow me on X, follow me everywhere if you don't want to miss any of my content, any of my covering for trades, any of my investments, any of my covering of HIMS, Oscar, Zeta, D-Local, Meta, Amazon, any trades, any stocks, any investments I'm in, I cover it all on X, Instagram, and here on YouTube. So make sure you're not missing out. Make sure you go and join. The Discord, it's absolutely free. I'm dropping stuff in there all the time, little goodies for everybody. And then you can upgrade from within there to my paid private subscriptions in my Discords and get a lot more there. So, yeah, check that out in the bio in the link below in my bio. Okay, so HIMS and hers, $68 DCF fair value or intrinsic value, $54 EPS fair value. So, yeah, I mean, we're sitting at today in after hours, we're up 6%. We're at $44.39, guys. $44.39. My fair value is 54 based on EPS. That's going to come down a little bit with the EPS miss, not going to lie. But the DCF with based on free cash flow, which is what I really care about, they didn't grow it, but they kept it the same. So this might get hurt a little bit. We might bring this down to like 65 or 66, but still, we're sitting at 40 some dollars today. And yeah, these are both obviously a lot higher than where we were at today. And that is fair value today on conservative assumptions. We look at visual stocks. We already talked about subscriptions continuing to climb higher. We already talked about revenues reaccelerating quarter over quarter. This net income obviously came down. We didn't want to see that. This free cash flow, it didn't go negative like last quarter, but it did stagnate and is the same as it was in where are we at? Was the same as it was in Q3 right here. So we will pop this back up, which I'm happy about, right? And what I really care about is this yearly free cash flow continuing to tick higher, 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 right? Besides that, I'm sure they diluted a little bit with the shares. They're diluting it a little bit every single quarter. So such is the way of growth companies. If we look here at Wall Street analysts, they have an average of $47 price tag on HIMS and hers. Again, we're sitting right below that at about $44 per share. And what's Palantir doing? Palantir's slightly down. And then we have a high of $65. So we're pretty much at the same ballpark. Our high is the analyst high here. Again, there's only 3 analysts covering it. If we look in here, yeah, we can obviously revenue, we can see free cash flows growing, we can see all this stuff. EPS is continuing to grow higher. We already know all this stuff. We can see our SWOT analysis. And yeah, going back to visual stocks, I wanted to show you guys this for Palantir. So check this out. Palantir actually beat, of course, EPS by 24%. They beat revenue by 8%, right? They beat revenue by 8%. Here's the scary thing. And going back to HIMS, I don't really have anything else to cover on HIMS, guys. I mean, I think HIMS will continue to climb higher. Sorry, I know I kind of just skipped over that. We're at 5% up right now. Clearly see we're way off our highs up here of $65 per share, which is closer to their fair value. We're down, 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 down. And then we already talked about revenue and EPS being missed, revenue hitting, EPS being missed. So I do think at this time, we've been beaten down so much, and they had this is B earnings. I think they were pretty good overall. So I do think they start climbing back up to $50 plus. Probably stay between the $50 to $55 range until we get more good news coming out for this company. Palantir is now up 1.24%. Let me talk to you about this. So Palantir, right? They beat on EPS and revenue, and I believe they raised guidance. 63% year over year increase on revenue. The scary thing here is 18% quarter over quarter growth. 18% quarter over quarter growth. Why is this worrisome? Why is this worrisome? Well, let's just look at it, okay? If we come down here, look at the valuation. It's obviously not worth $5, guys. I know that, but it's definitely overvalued. We already know this. These are analyst targets. Highest is 201, which is way above that. Average is 155, and lowest is 94. So you tell me. Insiders are selling $3.2 billion worth a sell, $1.2 million a buy. So what does that mean, guys? What does that mean? Come on. What does that mean? All right, revenue. Look at this. They were down in the dumps ever since they've been running hot. Look, they've been climbing year over year, right? Year over year, they've been climbing 27, 30, 36, 39, 48, right? And now they're at their high. Their high of 49%. 49%. They're back to their high that they were before all this started. So the thing you have to understand is once we get, and we're starting to inch closer now, once we get revenue quarter over quarter do what it did with HIMS, right? You saw HIMS, it was climbing every single quarter, and then one quarter it went down. Once we get that, Palantir is going to get severely punished. If we get that and then don't reaccelerate and run back up, and say you get 2 quarters of lower quarter over quarter growth, Palantir is going to get taken to the wood chipper. It's going to get taken to the wood chipper. I'm not bearish, Palantir. I'm not anything like that. I'm just talking facts to you, and I'm talking straight to you guys. Like, when they have quarter over quarter deceleration, that means that Palantir's growth story is slowing down. That means that people are going to start looking into the actual fundamentals more. They're going to look into actual fundamentals more, and it could spell Palantir seeing a drastic, sharp decline in their stock price. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but revenue quarter over quarter only up 18% when it's been higher recently. And, revenue year over year up 63%. Great. It's great. It's great. I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful when we're talking about Palantir here. Be careful and watch out for where are we at? Revenue right here. Watch out for when we kind of tick down here. So 1.181 was Q3. We just had, oh, it already updated. Wow, look at that. Let's go, Visual Stocks. You already updated. So, yeah, this is still really good. 634, 678, 820, 828, 884, 1.004 billion, 1.181 billion. This is still really good. Once this kind of ticks down, like it did for HIMS and HERS, you need to be careful. You need to watch out, right? Yearly, still great. Everything's still great. They're still growing like a weed. They're growing net income. They're growing cash flows. They're crushing it. They're crushing it. Shares outstanding, are also flying higher. People probably aren't paying too much attention because it's a growth beast. But again, I just wanted to warn everybody, just be on the lookout for when you get quarter over quarter deceleration, because you can see what happened to HIMS and HERS and how that affected the stock. And if you get that like 2 times in a row, right, it could really, really mess with the stock. Okay, final thing, guys. Final thing. Make sure you like that. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my content. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers, guys. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers. We're super, super close. We're super close. And then also, if you haven't seen my recent video, so like I was saying, we have huge news for OSCR Health. We come on over here to X. By the way, follow me at the RonnieV Show on X if you want all up to date everything. I'm posting like tons every single day. Okay, Nicholas Wu, you can come on over here, give him a follow. This is his due diligence. This is him reporting on this. So these representatives, all problem solvers, are pitching a new 2-year ACA credit extension with income caps and other changes. This is breaking news. Breaking news. This is going into the government shutdown bill that they're trying to get, the budget that they're trying to get resolved. They're trying to get this government back open, which we need to get this government back open. Planes are getting delayed all over the place. Here in Boston, they almost had a collision on the runway with 300 plus passengers. They need to get this stuff situated. I'm not going to speak politics. They need to get this. They need to get this government back open. Okay, they need to get this government back open, and they need to do that. The biggest thing is ACA subsidies. This is the biggest thing causing. This is the biggest like gridlock, right? This is the biggest gridlock between Democrats and Republicans that's causing them to not meet eye to eye. Democrats really want ACA subsidies extended. If they get that, then they'll be okay with coming to a vote and saying, okay, let's do this thing, right? So Congress is gridlocked, and too many Americans have lost faith that we can work together. But here's the truth: Democrats and Republicans can sit down, listen to one another, and find common ground, especially when it comes to lowering healthcare costs. Okay. Now, reminder: if ACA subsidies do not get extended before the end of the year, and actually November 1st that just passed, they are already coming out with the new premiums. And premiums are going to skyrocket for millions of Americans. Some people's premiums for healthcare are going to double. How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that for the average American, that their healthcare for them, their family, me, my family is going to double in some areas? Come on. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Get this stuff situated, okay? So, we may not agree, blah 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 blah, right? Just bunch of talking. Just a bunch of talking. This could be huge though. Like I said, this could be huge because this is being proposed by representatives or Republicans. Sorry, this is being proposed by Republicans, right? And if this is passed, again, you see that where are we at? HIMS is up 7%, by the way. You see that Oscar's now up 1% in after hours because of this news. Oscar's sitting at $17.66. I have a fair value in this company of like $40 plus. Okay. It's insane. It's insane how undervalued this company is. But there we have it, guys. There we have it. My kid's upstairs crying. I gotta hop off, guys. I appreciate all of you. Drop some love. Drop a like. He's about to start coming pounding on the door. He wants to hang out. He wants you to hit that like button. He wants you to hit that subscribe button. I'm out of here, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.